So, welcome to my sort of review or uh, um, walkthrough of my November, prayer book for daily practice for the 30 Days of Goddess. I have made videos for both September and October, and I thought I'd make one for November. In fact, I actually already made another one and accidentally deleted it. I made a long one. I actually then made a shorter one as well, but this one's probably going to be the longer version. So, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, I just want to say, I want just a huge shout out to Molly Reamer of Bridget's Grove, who is actually lovingly and painstakingly, does all the work that makes this happen. And she just like she did for the, and in fact, these particular this particular prayer book you actually can buy from her store on Etsy, Bridget's Grove, and just all the time and effort she puts into putting these together and designing them and all of that just really says a lot. And if you are a Patreon, which I always say it wrong, if you are a patron, you go to patreon.com, Bridget's Grove. If you're a patron, you get lots of extra goodies. You get lots of printables. You get podcasts that she's made, videos that she's made, sometimes little booklets that she's made, and just sort of lots of things that go along with it. So you can get a printout of a book that you can put together yourself. And actually, that's I think what I started with, and then she started making them and selling them in the store. And it was just a lot easier for me to buy the one that was already made. But I do print out a lot of the stuff and I use it, as you can see. I have, a number of her different printables just on this first page. So, so this is for November. I don't always, I did, well, I didn't always do the cover page, but the last couple of months I've done this. I keep finding like the magic for the month. This is November magic. So hopefully I'll find December and I'll do that in the December one too. But if not, I'll put something else here. Here's the moons for November. Molly has lots of her poetry / prayers in the book. And then of course this is one of her goddesses. And then more of her printables that I pasted in there. And then this is the page of prompts. So these are the words for each day. And you don't have to use those words. You can come up with your own, or you can use her 30 Days of Goddess companion deck that is also available at her Etsy store called Bridget's Grove. So you can also get that deck and you could pull words from there. Or you can, come up with your own. But it's kind of nice. She gives you words for 31 days, even on months that don't have 31 days, right? The months that have 30 days, or even, February, which is its own thing, 28 or 29, depending upon the year. And then I pasted in, this is one of her goddesses. I pasted in more of her printables. And then I found some stuff online. This is some highlights of the month. And so I just pasted that in there. And then I also wrote my word of the month. I'll put the link in later, but there's actually a group that I am a part of where she will give you a different word of the month for each month. And so she'll be like, what was your word for last month? Okay, well, here's a new word. So the word she gave me for November was kindness. And I had decided on awareness. So awareness and kindness. And I needed a lot of kindness in November. November was a really, really rough month for me. I guess we're still, right now as I'm recording this, it's November 30th. So, but this has been a rough month. So I needed lots of kindness. This is one of Molly makes these printables for the book as well. A lot of these books actually have the back pages. She'll have the different printables. Some of these little ones, some bigger size ones, and some of the goddesses. And I also print them off because I'm a patron. I also get access to the PDF files that have those too. So. Again, she has sort of guidelines for, recommendations for this. And we're now all sort of calling it the 365 days of Goddess, because it started out as a monthly thing, and then it has just kept going, has been kept going all year. And many of us are planning to continue it into the new year. So 30 days of Goddess, or 365 days of Goddess, however you want to think about it. But just some suggestions. Like, she's not asking anyone to, she's encouraging people to add this to their daily practice, but she's also not saying, please don't make this a momentous task. Keep it simple, keep it small, keep it meaningful, right? And do what you can. Commit to do something. Some days I only pull a card or a couple of cards. Some days I spend a lot of time cutting things out and pasting, and then writing in my journal, and meditating, and other days I just don't have that kind of time, and some days I'm lucky to pull a card before I go to bed, and that's okay. Like, each day is going to be different, but if you commit to doing just something, and just making space for that in your day, even if it's just a couple of minutes, that's the idea of daily practice. It just opens you up, to connecting with yourself, to connecting with deity, however you think about that, connecting with the universe, right? Molly also makes this amazing monthly moon wheel. A lot of people like this. I see a lot of people, when they do share their pages, they have like a colored in, and there's pictures in here. I don't use it a whole lot, but it's still a lovely picture on the page for me. So here we have November 1st. November 1st, the word of the day was ancestor. And so when you look at this, like, she gives you space for a date. I also added the day of the week, because when I was looking back through some older ones, I was like, what day was that? Trying to remember what was going on. I also wrote down what tarot deck I was using. And I'm also using the woman runes. So, actually, I'll come back to that. So you have a space to put the moon. Now, some people just draw like where the moon is. Like, is it a crescent? Is it a full moon? Is it dark of moon? I usually write down what moon phase it is and in what sign. Not everybody does that. That's just different ways of dealing with that. Mood, I kind of usually write something down. Sometimes people draw faces or put like some kind of image that indicates what their mood is to them. Nobody needs to understand what your symbolism is except you. And then if you use the woman runes, then you can draw that in there. I've also used Nordic runes. I've used Celtic runes, which are called Ogham. So you can put different things here. One month I also have tarot stickers. So one month I just put my tarot stickers there. It's just a couple of different spots. So she has a spot for you to put the word. And then here's write a magic moment. I tend to use these little cards, so I don't necessarily write as much there, but the idea is like write about a magic moment of the day, something about the day that was joyful or magical or positive. Then there's a spot for affirmation or note to self. Again, I often use her cards, but you can write in here. Sometimes I do. And then a blessing or slash, how do I want to feel? Again, you can write stuff in here specifically aligned to that, or you can just put little cards in. This is a daily wisdom or prayer. Sometimes people just really write up in here. They write a prayer. They write like quotes from different books that they're reading, or they write poems. Other kinds of inspiration. This month I'm putting in, so I'm using this deck called A Little Spark of Joy Tarot. I got it from a store on Etsy. Please don't ask me what store. I don't remember. It's a printable tarot deck. Yeah, I think I paid like $5 for it. Printed out, and then I've been pasted, the card of the day. Wrote underneath some brief keywords for it, and then I wrote the keywords for the rune as well. And then over here, depending upon the day, sometimes I wrote like quotes, some things I was reading, or quotes that I saw online that I liked. And as you can see, I like save a lot of those. When I post my pictures, I share a lot of those things that I find. Or different things. So you'll see that I don't always do exactly the same thing here. When I first was doing these, I was writing everywhere. And then a couple of months ago, maybe even back to like July or even, June even, I think I started occasionally posting, excuse me, I keep saying posting, pasting artwork in here or there. And so, because to me that was a nice thing to shake up my usual way of processing, because usually I do a lot of writing. I'm very much in my head. I do a lot of writing. And of course, I have a tarot journal. I have my regular journal. I actually have a poetry journal. I think I have another journal that I can't even think of off the top of my head. So I have a lot of places that I write. And so sometimes I write in here, but mostly I'm more likely to actually cut out artwork or cut out things that people have said, little quotes and things like that, and share those. A lot of what goes in my book is actually printables by Molly. So I don't always say that they're from Molly. And you can't always read that they're from Molly Ridges Grove, but most of the time they are. Right? So this day, November 1st, the word was ancestor. And I found this picture. I don't know who the artist is, but I believe it's supposed to be a Welsh goddess. And so because I'm a Heinz 57, so my ancestry is from all over, but a lot of it is from the UK. So Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, etc., etc., etc. I thought that was really appropriate. And this little pocket here wasn't supposed to be a pocket. It's just that it didn't stick on the top. So that's what often happens. I don't generally make pockets on purpose. But then I was like, oh, well, I can just put that in there. And then these are like pictures and memes that I got offline. And then some of these stickers I actually have my own set of stickers, and then sometimes I use stickers that come with the prayer book. So if you buy the prayer book from Bridget's Grove, you'll get a little packet that will have sometimes little things to make a bookmark, and it'll have like some stickers and some little pockets you can actually put in on the page. Lots of different things like that. Sometimes, and you can actually order them extra. And so sometimes I'll actually order extras because she's got a great supply of stickers, if you will. So November 2nd, the word was easy. And I just sort of love that. So this is actually one of the stickers that came with one of my prayer books. I don't know exactly when, but I think it's the cutest thing, little hedgehog there. This picture I loved, and if I know who the artist is, I write it to the side. If I don't, or I can't read it, then I obviously leave it blank. But I love this thing about easy, right? Lots of things I love about this. It's autumn, which is my favorite season. Here she is spending time out in nature. She's got some hot beverage. For me, it would be tea. Or hot cocoa on occasion. She's writing in her journal. I think if we look closely, it looks like she's actually writing in her journal. She's spending time with her pet. And she could have just been reading a book, and that picture would have been just as satisfying to me. Here again, we see a spark of joy, a little spark of joy tarot card. Right, again, so I paste in the card, write down some keywords for it. Then I write down the keywords for the rune underneath it. So that's all right there. And then some other things. So I loved this. So I didn't talk about it, but this was like a little meme and I loved it. And so November, while it's also about awareness and about kindness, those are my key words. It also is about boundaries and saying no to people, places, and things that drain your energy, and saying yes to the things that light you up. So I also use this book. Let's see, hang on. I'm getting it. So I work with this book. It's a Moonology Daily Diary. It's a weekly planner kind of thing. And that was kind of what it was suggested for things to do for November. Let it go, move on, and heal. For the record, I also work with this book. So sometimes you'll see pictures of this when I'm sharing, especially at the beginning of the month. So you'll probably see it for December. Some pictures are there. So this is the Coloring Book of Shadows Planner for a Magical 2021 by Amy Cesari. Amy Cesari actually has a number of coloring books for each of the Sabbats and different things like that. So certainly worth checking out. Her artwork is amazing, and it's also really nice to color all of that in. So again, this was the second. So sorry. Sometimes when I talk a lot, my throat gets a little dry. November 3rd, the word was soft. Now, doesn't this look soft to you? Like, I just thought this was so actually a very sweet and fun picture, right? You can see the cat and the child, and this could be the mother or the grandmother. Some people have children when they are older, so I don't want to make assumptions there, but certainly soft, that spoke to me as soft. This is actually one of the cards, and I actually will probably still be using some of these because Molly made a lot of them for the. So there's another daily practice thing that Molly does that's a year-long thing called Living the Questions, which I love. It's very deep and introspective, and you spend a lot of time sort of working through stuff. But she made these cards for Living the Questions, and I just have found them to be really, really appropriate for this context as well. Here's another one of Molly's goddesses that she made, another sticker. And so, like I said, see, I wrote there's the day of the week, there's the word of the day up there. And so for at least when I started, I was writing quotes here, and then I ended up going back to pasting stuff. So here we have the balsamic moon, dark moon. This is right before the official new moon, but the official new moon actually is still dark moon because we don't see the moon at all. It's actually for many Wiccans and witches actually see that don't really recognize the new moon until it's the first sliver, looking for the Diana's bow, if you will. But this is like the day before it's supposed to be new moon, sometimes called dark of moon or balsamic moon. This is November 4th. This is the word of the day was temple. I thought that was appropriate. Picture was appropriate. Again, more printables by Molly. A little butterfly sticker. Also, butterflies are supposed to represent the soul, at least in Greek mythology. So somehow a temple and a butterfly just felt appropriate. This was the new moon in Scorpio, also Diwali. So a holy day for a number of reasons. And I actually wrote down the Cancer new moon in Scorpio, kind of basically a little horoscope kind of thing for the month ahead. From one of my moon apps. I have a couple of two on my phone. One is about sort of the phases of the moon, and one is like I think it's called the Moon Calendar app. And this is from the Moon Calendar app. Then this day I actually wrote down affirmations and my blessing rather than using the stickers for that. Then this is the November 5th. The word of the day is patient. And as you can see, this is a card that Molly made for the day using the word patient. And then more artwork from online. And really, a lot of the artwork I get literally comes from Facebook. And I see a post I like, and I just grab the picture and pull it down, and then I put it in here. I'm like, I'm not selling this. I'm not using this for anything but personal reasons. So, But even in my own little personal prayer book, if I know the artist, I put the name there. I try to acknowledge that and give credit. And of course, there's foxes, right? So if you've been paying attention to any of my videos, I love foxes. Foxes and sunflowers are my favorites. I do like owls as well. So you'll sometimes see owls and other animals in nature just represented in general. Here I did a lot of writing. That's where I was at that day, apparently. And so again, here's my tarot card, and here's my rune, and then I wrote about the tarot card and the rune down here. Patient, right? Here's one of the quotes this is Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own. No need to hurry, no need to sparkle, no need to be anything but oneself. Good reminder for all of us. So November 6th, where we actually start to see the crescent. So the Diana's bow is visible. The word of the day is include. So I had a sticker that had basically cocoa with I think that's supposed to be, maybe that's soup. I don't know. I saw it as cocoa with marshmallows on top. But anyway, so include, and I just loved this picture. Again, another one of Molly's cards. And this is actually this little poem or piece here, what was with that picture that I just showed you. And I typed it up and printed it out. There we go. Don't they look comfortable? I totally want a fireplace in in my next house. I really like that, the fireplaces. Right, so though these are cards by Molly. See, I just rate my mood, tired but content. That's how I was, where I was that day. This word is complete. So this is November 7th. We have, and this is also daylight savings time ended on the 7th. Again, more foxes, right? And then you'll see I end up having lots of different things because I need reminders that it's okay for me to slow down. It's okay for me to stop. It's okay for me to pause. It's okay for me to not always be productive. And so I need those kind of reminders. And different. So if I see something that appeals to me and that I feel like I need to put it in my book, I do. But you'll probably see a little bit more of this kind of stuff for me. Because I'm often just so busy. And I've been working for the last 3 years and getting less busy. And part of that is too, I had a hysterectomy about 3 years ago, and my energy levels went way down, and so after that, and so I couldn't actually keep up with all the things I was doing, and so I've been trying to cut back, over the last couple of years to try to get more reasonable rate, and also just remind myself that some days my best is I'm super productive and I do all of the things and I have all this energy to do all of the things, and then other days I have enough energy to get out of bed and do like the bare minimum, the things I absolutely must do to get through the day. And then some days if I don't have any other outside obligations, I might let myself rest, right? And so learning that it's okay to listen to my body and to listen to those kind of signals has been really, really important to me at this time in my life. And so anyway, long explanation for that. Another picture again, from the interwebs. And this is another card from Molly that she made. The word of the day is follow. And a sunflower, yay! And then there's a fox, of course, and then there's an owl. This is cute, and this is another one where this is the what was in the post. This is actually what was posted along with the picture, and I liked it so much that I just typed it up and printed it out. So I do that sometimes. Let's see. So here we are on November 9th. Again, more artwork. I loved this one. Another one of Molly's goddesses that she made. And also, I don't remember what I was going to say. Another one of the god, and I just felt like this picture and this picture went really well together. This little sticker came from either the Threads of Fate Oracle or the Weaver Tarot, which is created by the same folks who make the Threads of Fate Oracle. And I liked it. I just thought it was really appropriate there. Here's another one of the cards for living the questions that I've talked about before. Here's a quote. Perhaps one of the things I need to learn to do is wait and see, wait and learn, wait and be. This is actually from Molly Reamer's book. Oh, now I put it someplace safe, didn't I? So Molly Reamer has a phenomenal book called Walking with Persephone. It came out just a little while ago, and I appear to have put it someplace safe, or I'd show it to you right now. Oh well. I've been reading it, so it can't be that far, but it's apparently not right at my fingertips. So now that's gonna bug me. Where is it? Oh well. I'll go hunt it down shortly I'll be I just read it yesterday, so it has to be here somewhere. So you know how that works, right? And then you're like, and then I'll find it and I'll be like, oh man, I'm not gonna go back and like report on the video that I where I found it. It's probably like right here, and I just overlooked it. It's the end of the semester, so it's a little cluttered around me right now as I have all this, stacks of papers and notes and all kinds of stuff like that. So we have November 10th. So this day I actually was very, very busy. And Mondays and Wednesdays are often very busy for me, but I was very busy this day. So actually I only pulled cards that day. And then later I went back and filled in this page. And these are both from Molly. And then this is some artwork by my friend Linda Fabry. She's a phenomenal artist. She actually is a local artist, and a friend of mine lives up in Wisconsin. I live in Illinois. She used to live in Illinois. She moved to Wisconsin. So then we have November 11th. The word of the day was here. I don't know the artist for this picture, but I really absolutely love it. Just a lot of... And this reminds me too of that going within that is so vital for late autumn and winter, as we go within and really hermit. My favorite tarot card of all time is the Hermit card, and it's also my life path card, and 9 is my life path number for anybody who does numerology. So I'm kind of drawn to that a little bit too, but I just think that's very comforting, right? More of Molly's goddesses, another one of Molly's goddesses, living the questions. The word was here. And here's a card that Molly made that says, here too, the goddess / sacred dwells right in the center of everything, as close as your breath, your wrist, your hand on your heart. The moment of noticing disconnect is the exact moment in which to connect anew. One hand to your forehead, then your heart, then your belly. You're back home, present, embodied, and here, connected to it all. And another little reminder to myself to rest. It's okay to work hard, but always remember it's also okay to rest. And now we are on November 12th. I do want to talk about this page for a minute. Part of what has made November such a very difficult month for me, and if this is too personal, feel free to ignore it. There's a couple of things going on for me. So this is the 3-year anniversary of when I had my hysterectomy. I had my hysterectomy in 2018 in December. But in November, I actually had the first procedure, because I had to have 2 procedures. And one was to deal with the cervical cancer itself. And then the other one was to see how far the cancer had gone into my uterus and decide whether or not, which kind of hysterectomy I was going to have in December. So a lot of grieving around that, and memories of that, seeing poetry and posts about that experience, kind of coming up and bringing stuff up. Some other kinds of anniversaries of that kind of deaths or of loss, of change. And this is also typically a difficult month for me anyway, in terms of change, and also in terms of processing the fact that I have SAD, seasonally affective depression, and which is also, I actually got a happy light last year is what it's called. And it really does help. It actually, increases the amount of light that you get, and it kind of mimics natural light. But we also had a number of things. So I also have a friend of mine who is she actually started out as a tarot student, and she took, runes and Lenormand and I think a magic class with me. But so we started as a student, and she's become a friend. And this summer for my birthday, she gave me a book called The Fox and I, and she also gave me The Little Prince, because it's quoted in Fox and I. In the book. Both of them are very good books. Now, I think I'd heard of The Little Prince and maybe seen like a snippet from the movie that was made, but I'd never actually read the book. And so I read the book, and I read both books, and they were both really good. But I'll come back to that in a second. So Molly does send stickers with, like I said, sometimes you get stickers with the, well, not sometimes, you get stickers when you buy the prayer book, and you never know what the stickers are going to be, which is kind of fun. And then I don't know if it was for this, for November, or just, sometime in the past I'd gotten stickers for the Little Prince. And I chose this picture for the day. I don't know why. The word is collect. It has nothing to do with this picture, but I chose this picture, and it made me think of Fox and I. And then I was like, oh wait, I have a sticker, of the Little Prince. And so, and I found the quote. This is the quote that relates to this, and why Fox and I and Little Prince kind of tie together, because there's a fox in the story of the Little Prince. And then there's a quote. "Goodbye," said the fox. "Here is my secret. It's quite simple. One sees clearly only with the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eyes." Now, when I was putting this page together, it made me think of my friend whose husband had passed away last month, in mid-October, I want to say. And so sort of it really, I was already sort of thinking about that, so there's kind of a sadness around that, as well as a sense of warmth towards this friend, but also sadness about what she's going through. And of course, anytime someone you hear about death of someone else, it can also make you think about your own mortality, the mortality of your spouse or other family members. So it brings up a whole lot of stuff there, right? And so, on this page, again, a lot of printables. This is one of Molly's. Molly made a set of daily practice cards, and I use them occasionally in my books. And here's more of her, printables. Another day where I just drew cards. Ironically, it's World Kindness Day. And this day actually was very busy and apparently very emotional for me. And actually, so good and bad. I think there was a lot of stuff going on. So the second Saturday of every month, I actually drive an hour one way to this store called Howl at the Moon Gems up in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. And I do tarot readings. So just once a month. I had been doing it twice a month, but it got to be a little bit too much. It was wearing on me because I have a long week, and then Saturday, having that long day on Saturday. But I really enjoy it. I love that. I wish it was closer, because I would certainly do it more often if it was closer. But anyway, that was a little bit of a long day. So then I came back later and did stuff to this page, and these are both created by Molly. Okay, so when I say that you get like the stickers, you get, and like sometimes little pockets. So here's some of the things you get. When you get the book, you also get you'll get at least one of these, and it's a little envelope, and you can use it however you want. But I put it in there. You'll get stickers, and those probably came from there. And then you'll get the possibility of being able to make a bookmark. Now, I had some stickers that I had also purchased from Bridget's Grove, goddess stickers. And I just put them together and created this little bookmark. I don't usually do that, so I was kind of proud of myself. So this is like a little bit of a step out. And so the word is depart. And so dragonflies are also really appropriate for that, because dragonflies are said to carry our messages over to the other side, of the veil. And sometimes, like the butterflies, sometimes they're seen as actually being the souls of the living. The souls going across the veil. Other times they're just seen as being messengers. I don't remember where this picture came from, and I don't know who made it. So, but I just felt like it was appropriate for that word and that day. And so depart made me think of crossroads, made me think of change, made me think of journeys of some kind. And I feel like right now I'm, and especially with the veil coming up as one of the cards, I feel like I am, currently in an inner journey, right now. And in fact, a lot of the cards that I got this month had something to do with resting, with taking a break, with stopping to catch my breath, with, with dealing with, inner stuff, right? So that was really interesting. Also was sad this day, really. Probably because, was that Sunday? Because the week before, maybe on Thursday, my spouse's aunt had passed away. And so they live in Pennsylvania. We live in Illinois. So we were finding out all the details about what's going to be happening with the funeral and what's going to be going on there. So yeah. Then we have Monday the 15th. More artwork, another card from Living the Questions, another one of the daily practice cards. These are like, again, just printables that Molly makes. These are the bigger sizes. Well, I think this is the medium size. There's like a bigger one too. And then there's the smaller sizes. And you know, like these don't fit in here. So you want to get something small enough or write it in yourself. And this day was the star. And I really needed that card that day. Right. And then the woman rune was the wand, which is a rune of blessing. And that was really, really a big deal. Like I said, it's busy. Mondays and Wednesdays are always busy for me. And then we have the 16th. This is the Tuesday of that week. And this is actually the day my spouse left to drive the 12-hour drive to back to PA from here. And I stayed home taking care of the pets, taking care of the house and all those things that needed to be taken care of so that my spouse could have the space and the time to be able to go home, visit with family, go to the funeral, process all that stuff. So it was a really hard time for us too, because, you know, we were apart during this very emotional time. And we each had things that we were processing, but it was necessary. It was really important. So, and the word of the day was affect. And here's a card that Molly made. We affect life-renewing change through daily acts of small magic and radical joy. Radical joy. Radical means root change. So the idea of joy being at the root, right? November 17th was actually the day of the funeral. It's a nice little affirmation there from the Whimsical Pixie. She's actually on Facebook. I kind of like a lot of her stuff too. And the word of the day was holy, right? So Molly had written this piece and shared it. So you see there's Bridget Grove and then Molly Reamer. And then also I found, you know, this just felt, you know, appropriate to me, as a Wiccan / pagan, for 35 years now, thereabouts, 30 plus anyway. This has been a really, really important part of my life. And so, the Sabbats, the seasons, all of these are very holy to me. So that felt really appropriate for that. Here we have Thursday, the 18th. This day was really interesting because the Fool. Now, if you pay attention, if you know tarot, many of the woman runes correspond to tarot cards. Now, the circle corresponds to the Fool, and the seed corresponds to the Hanged Man. But in this case, I just felt like they were actually working really well together. First of all, I love this Fool card. Like, you know, that certainly gets at the imagination and spontaneity of the Fool. But there's a sense of potential, a sense of stepping outside your comfort zone, but also a sense of waiting. And so that was really appropriate for that day because I still didn't know at that point if Shell was going to come back on Thursday or Sunday. And so definitely feeling a little bit in limbo there. Some more artwork. Again, I didn't have to write this down because the name was like on this one. Again, if you want to talk about, I think it's Danish. There's a word called hygge. It's Hyggge. You may have heard about it, and it roughly translates to cozy, content, comfortable. Very roughly. And you know, when I think about, you know, that this is my cozy, content, comfortable, that's that really happy feeling for me. And then another more from the Whimsical Pixie. Just really liked that. Oh, we have Friday, November 19th. So I put a note into myself because I was angry and sad that day. And that note tells me why, but you don't necessarily need to read that. But I was mad about some things that were happening politically, and sad about things that were happening, personally and internally, right? It was a Ten of Swords day. It's a really rough day. And then, of course, we have also the Cauldron of Reflection for the rune. Another one of Molly's goddesses here. This is actually another poem of Molly's and one of her affirmations cards. I hope she makes these into, it'd be nice if she made these into like little cards that you could use too, like her 30 Days of Goddess companion deck. So she actually has a deck that has like different keywords, and it has different like goddess prayers or blessings, and then like different like mini ritual things to do. As you can also get that at the store. I wasn't prepared to talk about that either, so I don't have those nearby. But I just strongly encourage you to check that out. Apparently, I was not very organized today. Then we have November 20th. This is when Shell came home. That was Saturday. And this one, I'm just going to say, it didn't tell me what the artist's name was, and I couldn't read it. So it's on there, but I couldn't tell. And another card that Molly made using the word of the day, which was witness. May I bear witness to the story of life as it unfolds. And then appropriately, Sunday's word was companion. And Shell and I love a show called Doctor Who. And also there's some poetry like Rumi and Hafiz. From the Doctor Who and also from the poetry, we actually have come to say that we are each other's favorite companion. We do love traveling together, by the way. And if you watch Doctor Who, you know that Doctor Who always has a companion that or more than one sometimes, that travel with the Doctor. And anyway, so this day, like Shell had been gone all week, and so we spent this day really mostly just curled up with each other on the couch watching movies, and then just doing like everyday things like laundry and other stuff like that. But it was a really important day for us for connecting and for pausing, for catching our breath before we moved into Monday, getting back to work for Shell, and just getting back to the everyday stuff. And and fun story about this particular card. So if you buy things from Bridget's Grove, you will sometimes get little cards, or the little pendants or different things like that. Sometimes you get like little extras, basically, with what you ordered. And I got this one time, and I looked at it, and I realized though that I think it must have been a misprint, right? Because I think this is called the Rune of Alchemy, and then Temperance is one of the words, or Alchemy is somewhere in here, and it's not on the card. And so when I looked at the card that I pulled, these two were different. But I think I got this maybe a couple of months ago, and then I just hung on to it. And then when I pulled it that day, November 21st, I was like, oh, perfect. And then I just sort of pasted it in there. On the 22nd, again, another sticker. This is Doodle Lucy art. Again, I didn't have to write it down because it's on the paper itself. Love it. A redhead, like me, but also autumn. And she just seems kind of actually happy. And so the word was leave, and I extended it to leaves. Autumn leaves. Another one from another card from Living the Questions. Just letting you look at it for a second. And again, I actually did this actually all came from, this long quote came from Molly Reamer's Walking with Persephone. So as I said, I've been reading it slowly, little by little, because it's a really good book, but it's not a book that's meant to be like sped through. It's meant to be taken a little at a time and processed and digested and thought about. And it's just a really good book. I think she just did an amazing job. with that. And then these are 2 cards that she made, using the word leave. So, sorry. I just stopped for a minute and I'm like, where is that book? It's someplace safe. Probably in my drawer. I have a drawer where I keep like all the printables and things like that, and occasionally it accidentally gets put in there when I'm moving stuff around in order to do my daily pages. Here's of course more foxes, right? More artwork from online. Molly made some of these daily practice checklists. These are suggestions, not saying you have to do all these things, but suggestions that you might want to use. And I printed off a bunch of them, and I just decided to put one in here. It just felt like it belonged there. And that word of the day was protect, another card that Molly made using the word for the day. November 24th. Some artwork by Vicky Mount. Another printable by Molly, another one of her prayers. The word for the day was intense, which is really interesting because I didn't really go into the intense place in that way. I looked at the intensity of pausing, which is a different way to think about intensity. And I always, so obviously when I'm pulling cards, I can't do a repeat on the printables because, that's it. But I also do that with the runes. I pull a woman rune card and then I put it to the side so you won't see repeats throughout the month. It's just something I want to be able to work with as many cards as possible. And then more quotes there, more cards by Molly. And then we have November 25th. And this is otherwise known as Thanksgiving or the National Day of Mourning by the Native Americans. I won't go into that too much, but I recommend you actually go read up on what the National Day of Mourning is and what it means and why the Native Americans feel that way. For me, I always have mixed feelings about the holiday because on the one hand, again, I recognize that the history that we were told about what Thanksgiving Day is and why Thanksgiving Day happened is actually not true. It's a much darker story, if you will. And at the same time, I do connect with the aspect of, recognizing what I'm grateful for, the people around me, having a meal with others. For a number of years, we actually did vegetarian Thanksgiving with some friends of ours, actually my ex-wife and her husband. Because that's how we are in the LGBTQ community. We just kind of stay connected. So that we used to all get together. That changed a couple of years ago. Actually, right around about 3 years ago. I was not really up for company. The year I had my surgeries, and then we were very busy after that, and then of course quarantine and COVID and all that has kind of kept us apart. Physically we still stay connected, but so have mixed feelings about this particular holiday. So then we have November 26th, Black Friday. Some of my friends really celebrate that. I typically stay home. You certainly save a lot of money on Black Friday if you don't actually buy anything. But everybody has different feelings about Black Friday, so that's just mine. Also, it's just a nice day to be able to relax after, having a big meal the day before, if you did have a big meal. These are from Molly's Winter Magic book. So this is one of the things about being a patron is that you get access to like these little booklets that she makes of her poetry, of her prayers, and some artwork. And I feel very, lucky and blessed, to be able to do that. And we have November 27th. The word of the day was pulse. And This page really has nothing to do with Pulse. Although here's one of the cute little stickers, which I was like, did she send that to me on purpose? Because I have shared about having a, oh my gosh, I suddenly forgot what Aelin is. He's a cockatiel, Aelin Puck, aka Chicken. My spouse calls him Chicken. And I discovered that Shell isn't the only one who thinks the cockatiels look a little bit like chickens. So, and also a fun story about this particular one here. I'm part of a card exchange that's happening through, I think, one of the groups I'm in. It's either Bridges Grows, Create a Circle, or Goddess Works, which is the Patreon group. But I received a holiday card from Molly in that exchange, and this is one of the things, a little tag that has the rune of reflection. Well, amusingly enough, that day, so that card came in the mail that morning, and then later that day when I pulled my rune, guess which rune I got? So I was like, okay, this has to go in my prayer book. And then on the back of it was this, I think it was this little card. And what's funny is that I got a different card from someone else in the the card exchange, and that was in there. So I was like, oh my gosh, these are meant to be together on this page, right? And I was having a little bit of a hard day. Said I'm tired here. 9 of Swords was appropriate card if you know anything about tarot. It's definitely about anxiety and stress and worry and negative self-talk and really ultimately about healing those. And so here's my affirmation to myself: I will be gentle with myself. I think last month I think I may have sung that chant to you. I'm not going to do it today. So we have November 28th. This is actually when Hanukkah began. So for any of you out there who do celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. I know we're in the middle of it. For those of you, I have many friends who are Jewish. For those of you who are not Jewish, Hanukkah begins at sundown on the 28th, and it goes through till December 6th. So it's not just a one-day thing. Just for the record, Hanukkah is not the Jewish Christmas. I can't believe how many times I hear that, and I'm like, what? It's definitely its very own holiday, and it's actually not even necessarily one of the bigger holidays to most Jewish people. It just happens to usually fall around Christmas time. This year it fell closer to Thanksgiving. Because the Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar, and I won't go into that. But anyway, Hanukkah, we're in Hanukkah right now. More artwork. This is Amanda Clark. I love her. There's another fox. More from Molly's Winter Magic, and then some of Molly's affirmations cards. Another card she made specifically for the day with the word integrity in it. It was a good day. I was feeling peaceful that day. And then we get back to Monday. Mondays are very busy. You'll see when I come switch over there. So this is this is yesterday. So this is Monday the 29th. Well, it's yesterday when I'm making this video. Who knows what day it will have been when you watch the video. But so this is from November 29th. More by Amanda Clark, another fox, of course. I don't remember where I saw this quote, liked it though, typed it up and printed it out. Another card by Molly. These are also cards that Molly made. And then today, November 30th. So more by Amanda Clark. I loved this one because the word is ground. The word for the day is ground. And this makes you feel like Mother Earth, right? Covered in a mantle of snow. There's even snow on the trees on her head. So just quite lovely. Another one of Molly's prayers. Her prayers are prayer/poems. I always think of them as in that way because they're really poetic in the way she writes them. This also came in, I think it was the same one who sent me, well, anyway, this came in one of those card exchanges, and they actually sent some stickers, and I love tea. So either they're paying attention or they just somehow managed to really luck out and give me a sticker that I would like. And this is really true. The Hermit, I spent most of the day home alone. I taught a class in the morning, and then I had therapy, and then basically the rest of the day I was doing work at home. So then, like the rune of labor and work. Well, yep, I was working from home on stuff, but by myself. So I just had a pretty good day of solitude. And in hermit's level, solitude is usually sort of like welcome solitude. Not like I felt forced, like I felt lonely or even alone. I just was, content in that time by myself. Today is also Hecate at the Crossroads Day. So this is also a good time, for people to think about, where where you've come on your journey, and then where you're going and what's happening in your life. It actually falls at a really good time because many of us become contemplative, in November, December, start thinking about, the year past, what we've done and what we've gone through, and then thinking about what we want to do, in the new year and all of that. So it's actually pretty good timing of that. And then sometimes I actually do more, like, so we're off the pages. There's actually was another page, a 31st page, and I took it out. Because there's only 30 pages and 30 days in November. And so sometimes I leave it in and just cover it up. And this time I just took it out. So here's more stuff from the Winter Magic, another one of Molly's goddesses. This is actually in the book itself, another one of her prayers / poems. And then this is the back page. And then there was like a little additional page. And this is just extra artwork that I had cut out over the month that didn't use. So I put it back here. Another one from Living the Questions. I didn't actually end up using this on the day that we had the full moon. So I just decided to put it here. So, and then this is actually the back cover. So some more artwork by Wendy Andrews. I think is Andrew, and I always just try to put an S on there. Another from the Winter Magic, and then Dissolve Line. November comes and November goes, with the last red berries and the first white snows, with nights coming early and dawn coming late, and ice in the bucket and frost by the gate. The fires burn and the kettles sing, and earth sinks to rest until next spring. Clyde Watson. And there we go. So, this was only an hour. All right, well, so for those of you who are ambitious and actually want to walk through it, please feel free and enjoy. So, as I said, November was a trying month for me. It was a difficult time. Lots of things going on, things that were happening presently, and things that also memories and anniversaries of things that have happened in the past that have brought up a lot of feelings and things for me as I'm processing through the month. So. Hopefully, December will be calmer and quieter. Interestingly enough, my word for the month that I received from the group where they do the word of the month, my word for December is quiet. So I am very hopeful that actually is true. Anyway, I hope that all of you have a good December, and that you actually had a good November, or that at least it was, something important that you were dealing with, or that it was a laid back month. I hope that it was meaningful to you in some way. And again, as I said, I hope that December treats you well. I'm looking forward to winter solstice myself. Some of you may be looking forward to Christmas or other holidays in December. Actually did the research, and between mid-November and mid-January, I counted at least 60 holidays. And someone else pointed out to me that there's probably something more like 130. So when people say happy holidays, that's what they mean. So happy holidays, everyone, and happy new year. Blessed be.